I know we're in a different place. We usually don't do, regular videos here. We do long form here, sometimes, but we are in a different place for a number of reasons. The first reason is I'm actually making this on the fly because yesterday's video was about whether or not we could do something, and today is a test, and so I'm just sort of shoehorning this in. Didn't want to go set up the lights in the pontoon, just wanted to do it all here. But so there's that. But also, the reason why we're here is because I want to get this setup sort of working and test it out, because we are going to be doing something very, very fun with this setup very, very soon. And so I'm so excited for that. And so we're figuring things out. Like, is it okay to have a mic in the shot? Is the mic close enough to me? Do I need to just have it right here where it's going to hit my head all the time? I don't know. But we're here for that reason, because I'm testing things out, and also the reason I just mentioned. And I'm going to tell you more about the thing that we're testing in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 295 of 365 days of soap, and today, as I said, is a test day. And what we are testing are all of the surfactants and artificial bubblers and all of the jazz that we talked about yesterday in yesterday's video in cold process soap. So I'm very excited about this because, as we talked about in yesterday's video with all of the different, surfactants and the anionic versus the cationic and what that should theoretically do in cold process, I decided that that sounds really cool. And because it sounds really cool, I wanted to test said really cool things to see what it does, to see what the lather looks like, to see how anything changes, if anything changes, if anything falls out of solution, all of the things. And so we will be testing the SCI noodles, SCI powder, SLSA powder, BTMS solid. I think I said yesterday BTMS is powder at some point, and I apologize for that. Anyway, testing those along with a control bar so we can test the lather and do all the things. I just said test so many times. Let's go to the video where we can run said tests. Okay, so test day, and first up on this is the BTMS, and I think I may have said yesterday in yesterday's video about surfactants and emulsifiers and essentially artificial bubblers in soap that BTMS was powder. I don't know why I said that. I don't know what I was talking about. I mean, I know that it's obviously not. It's a wax. I don't even remember if I actually said it, but I feel like maybe I did. Anyway, we are also testing SCI in noodle form. Now, both of those will be melted down before, so we can incorporate them into the soap batter. And then for the rest of them, we are using powders. So the SCI powder here. And we will also be using SLSA. Yes, also in powder. So those four, and then we're also going to be filming, or we're going to be pouring a control bar. Now, the reason why I'm measuring out such a tiny amount of all of this is because, and that's how we know that it's the BTMS or the SLSA. Also, I wanted to show you guys what it looks like when you just put SCI with a little bit of water. In about 20 minutes, it does that. It's a very lovely feeling on the skin, very creamy, and quite nice. I don't know if you'd ever seen that. I had actually never seen that before. I usually only incorporate SCI in dry things. Anyway, so we are doing essentially a 1 pound batch of soap, and the reason why I measured out such small amounts for all of the different things that we're testing is because yesterday I thought that maybe you can use it at 3%, and 3% is probably fine. So that's what we're doing. We're doing 3% of each of the weights of these bars of soap. So it's 0.1 ounces when it's all said and done. Probably should have switched it to grams. I didn't do that thing. Okay, now on to the pores, and this, first up, we're just gonna mess with the SCI noodles. Now, in order to melt those down, what I did was I put a little bit of the oil in, and then just put it in like 15-second bursts in the microwave until it was all melted. So there's that, and going to make sure that it gets whisked in really well. As I was talking about in yesterday's video, I feel like if you're going to put in any of these surfactants, you should put them in after you have hit emulsion. So I did that thing, and now I will be, again, just weighing everything out and then mixing it in with all of the different, things we're playing with. For this one, for the powders, we are going to add a little bit of water to it to give us a nice liquid consistency to, again, make it easier to incorporate into the soap batter. We would like everything to be liquid and fluid. I have problems with the SCI powder just in general. It kind of reminds me of coconut milk when you put it into anything dry, like anyway. But notice how much it bubbles up right there. And then that is the melted down BTMS. And remember from yesterday's video, BTMS is the one that I might be concerned about because, talking about the cationic versus anionic, right? And so this is the one that I might be concerned about. But as I said in yesterday's video, I think at 3%, there's really nothing to be concerned about, because you're really including such a small amount. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a good time. I'm super excited. And mixing this in was actually kind of complicated. And I don't know. We'll see. I think I did a pretty good job mixing it in, but I had to definitely take the skewer to it to make sure that the sides were wiped and all of the jazz. So now onto the SCI powder before we get to that weird, creamy stage. I want to make sure that it's incorporated into the soap. So we're going to do that one next, and then we will finish up with the SLSA. Now, for this, we will not be C-popping this, so there's no extra steps. There's no extra factors. Oh, that got thick and weird, didn't it? That's interesting. That's very interesting. None of the rest of the soap has done that. Okay, cool. I look forward to seeing what this does. So again, nothing will be C-popped. There will be no gel phase. We're just going to leave this out on the counter. I will cover it with a piece of saran wrap to, stave off soda ash. But other than that, it's just going to sit up here overnight, and then we will test it tomorrow. But as you guys know, tomorrow means today for you when you're watching this, because I do it all in one video, and sometimes I test lather, and this is one of those times, obviously, because we're playing around with a bunch of new things. And the reason why I made such a small batch is obviously because I don't know what any of this is actually going to do, and I don't want big batches of this stuff just hanging out. I really don't. So we're going to just have, 4 bars of unscented, unclayed, anything things, especially if any of these fail, I don't see why they would. As I talked about in yesterday's, adding this to soap, chemically it tracks that you can. And there is a reason, a good reason to do so, i.e. to, stave off the problems with, hard water, to ensure that you still get a nice big bubble out of your soaps in hard water conditions, but also, soap scum and all that jazz. Like, there's a reason. So chemically, it should work. And there's also a reason that you could incorporate it. So, that's what we're doing. We are testing these things, which we're going to go do now. So let's get to that. Okay, test day. Now, these have been poured and have only sat here for, around, 14 hours or so. And let's check them out and see what we have going on. The control, I don't anticipate any problems with the control at all. The oil blend that I used for this was my basic 3. So basically equal parts coconut oil, olive oil, and palm oil. And so, yeah, there shouldn't be any issues with the control bar. Now, what I am going to be looking for are going to be signs of, things separating. So an emulsion, falling out of solution essentially, as well as bar rigidity. And then, ultimately we will test them for the lather as well. And so that's what we're going to do. And so far I don't see any problems with any of it. Nothing super flexy. Okay. Well, that one just broke off right away. So that's interesting. But the BTMS one did not. There were absolutely no issues with that one at all. This one's a little bit bendy, but not breaking. So that's good to know. No issues whatsoever with that BTMS though. That one looks pretty good. And then the SLSA, it looks, it's very bendy though. Oh, yep. Very easy to break too. So there you go. That's something to keep in mind. Why that happens, I'm not 100% sure. I would have to ponder that for a little bit. I'm sure by the time this gets up, I will have my thoughts on it, and I'll post it in a comment below. So that's the lather from the control. That's what we can expect from the basic 3. Nice, medium weight lather. Very lovely. And let's see if the lather is any better. And, you guys can't see the hand feel, but I can tell you the hand feel. And this one felt weird, honestly, but it had a really nice lather. It felt almost drying. It was a very strange feeling, but the lather's good. Those are some really delightful bubbles, for sure. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, it felt drying, which a recipe like this does not feel drying. And, the other one did not feel drying. So now on to the SCI noodles. If I can manage to work that. There you go. There's a good lather payoff right away, right there too. Very nice. Has a bit of a slime consistency to it. There's a bit of a slime factor there that I'm not in love with. And so, but the lather is great for sure. And then this is the SCI powder, which again didn't break. So like I said, I need to think about why that is. That's a lovely lather for sure. Really good lather payoff right off the bat. And remember, these things are only about 14 years old, hours old. And so they will, once they continue, because they're very soft still, once they continue losing their water weight or whatever, their lather should really come into its own. But as far as it is now, it's a pretty stable lather. That is also delightful too. There's really good bubbles going on with that. I like all of these, in all honesty. I mean, aside from the fact that the BTMS, that's a good lather payoff. I'm not mad at that. I mean, aside from the fact that the BTMS one made me feel a little bit dry, and that the SCI noodles and the SLSA bar broke. No, I mean, I think it's good. We will keep these for a little bit, and I'll do another test and see what's going on with these and what the lather ends up doing, later. And then I'll, of course, update you guys. But, for now, there it is. That's the test. Nothing weird happened. Soap was made. Bubbles were formed. All of the soapy things. I love it. That's fun. That is a day 295. a test day. And there you have it, a whole bunch of soaps with surfactants in them. And yeah, interesting as far as it all goes. Some of the lather was really, really great. Some of the lather was very interesting. The 2 bars that broke, I'm still sussing out. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But yeah, I'm going to let these sit for a little bit and test them again. And I will let you guys know what those tests, are. Or probably show you to that, because we're in the soap shop now all of the time. And so there's no real reason why I can't just pop that camera on and show you a lather right now. Well, not right now, because again, the soaps have to sit for a little bit to see what the lather does after, they lose water weight. So there's that. But it was a fun test. It was a fun day. I hope you guys had a lot of fun today. I certainly did. This has been awesome. If you are interested in more soapy things and see what we do, in here and all of the jazz, subscribe, do the thing. That would be awesome. I would appreciate that. For those of you who have subscribed, hey Sudsers, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here with me for another round of 365 days of soap. I'm out of here for today, but I will see all of you guys again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.